Hey, 7th grade, Mr. Hildebrand here. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we're up to the next 2 days. So this is for Thursday and Friday, so I believe that's the 22nd and the 23rd. We're going to be talking about ancient Greek achievements. Ancient Greek achievements. So if you go to the homepage for World History on Canvas, you go down to Course Modules, and the first one that pops up for you right now is Week 9. Okay, so check out Week 9. If you go to the lesson notes and links, you're going to see all the different links to the Nearpods, some old videos we did, the philosophy stuff we did yesterday. You're going to want this science and technology link. Okay, this is a Nearpod for the notes, and then also a code just in case it asks you for a code, okay, or in case you have the app. When you open that, okay, and click that, it's going to look like this. Just put your name in, join the lesson, pop up with the first slide, and you kind of follow along with me, or go back later if you need these for study guides or anything like that. Now, if you go to the assignments page, because that's what a lot of people care about is, what do I have to do? I'm going to show you the assignment for Week 9, at least for Thursday and Friday. That is right down here at the bottom where it says Greek award speech. So I'm going to open it up just so it's open in the meantime. But let me kind of cruise through these notes real quick and give you a recap of what we talked about today. So the ancient Greeks, we know they were always trying to impress their gods and goddesses. One of the ways they did that was with their intelligence. So they were constantly writing, creating art. They were philosophers, scientists, mathematicians. Okay, and they were real game changers. In fact, we use a lot of their ideas today in some of the things we study in school and some of the things we use in our jobs. So, for example, some of the fields that we use ancient Greek ideas are in science, math, medicine, and then philosophy. Okay, logic, reasoning, how we think. So let's move on here. A couple of the famous Greek influential thinkers that we have is Hippocrates. Hippocrates is called the father of scientific medicine. Now, I know we watched some groovy Greeks, some horrible histories that kind of poked fun at Hippocrates. And yes, their medical knowledge was way different than ours. They didn't know as much as we do. But one of the things he came up with was the Hippocratic Oath. So this idea that doctors should always do good to their patients. They should never harm their patients. They should always be trying to help them and do whatever's the best. That's actually an oath that doctors today still take. Thales of Miletus, he's one of the first known Greek scientists, and he developed the first 2 steps of the scientific method, which you guys know from science class. And then we know later that Aristotle comes along, and he adds the third, the hypothesis. I did have a quick video on some of the ancient Greek thinkers here, specifically Hippocrates. So we watched that in class. Give that a watch real quick. We also talked about Pythagoras. Now, Pythagoras, he was a mathematician. He created this very famous Pythagorean theorem named after himself, which basically you use to find if you have missing sides of triangles and you don't know what their lengths are. If you have one, you can use this formula to find a missing length. You're going to use this so much in high school. I can't even tell you how many times I used it. I had it memorized. I don't even need to look it up. Just because you're going to use it a lot in your classes, and it really helps with measurement of things and a lot of engineering as well. Herodotus is the father of history, at least that's his nickname. He's going to write a lot about ancient Greek history and record a lot of their stories and accounts. In fact, a lot of what we know about the Persian Wars and the early Olympics was because of Herodotus. I do have this very corny Pythagoras or Pythagorean theorem song that we watched, so if you feel like watching something corny, check that out. Eratosthenes, he was a mathematician, and he did some calculations and actually measured the circumference of the Earth. Now, he didn't walk it out and go around it. He just used the dimensions of what he knew and measurement of other astronomy, planets, stars, that kind of stuff, to try to estimate the circumference or the distance around the Earth. Okay, and he got it really close. Okay, even though they didn't have planes, they didn't have spaceships, they didn't have satellites, he got within 200 miles. And the Earth is, thousands and thousands of miles around. Euclid is the father of geometry. When you get to take a geometry in high school, for some of y'all maybe next year, you're going to use a lot of his basic principles. Archimedes was a physicist and an inventor. We are going to check out some of his inventions. And he did a lot of work in physics. We watched another video. Check this one out. It has some more background information on some of these accomplishments. Aristarchus, he concluded that the Earth revolves around the Sun. So the Sun was the center of the solar system and all the planets move around, which was kind of a big deal because even into the Middle Ages, some other people who lived elsewhere in the world, they didn't figure that out. So he was ahead of his time. Ptolemy, he did a lot of work with astronomy as well and kind of mapped how the planets moved and looked at those, astronomical mechanics, you could say. I did give you guys this website here. If you're really into astronomy and space, I think it's really cool. It's called Google Sky. It's kind of like Google Earth, but for galaxies and stars and solar systems and stuff. And you can check that out and click on this stuff, and it'll give you information about it. So I just want to give that to you if you think that's cool. And so those were the thinkers and some of the mathematicians, scientists, and whatnot that we talked about. For your assignment, okay, it's another embedded Google Docs. If you want a bigger version, just click on it like this. We're pretending that you have switched bodies, okay? If you ever seen the movie Freaky Friday, or think about that song that I think Chris Brown did like a year or two ago, you're going to pretend that you're switching bodies with a famous ancient Greek scientist, inventor, or mathematician. The award ceremony for your accomplishments is tonight. So in order to avoid any awkward or embarrassing parts of the evening, you have to pretend to be that famous ancient Greek person that you switched bodies with. Now, you're going to have to quickly research where they're from, their family members, their accomplishments, the impact of the accomplishment, how did it help people, and what they plan to do next. That part you're going to make up yourself. And your speech has to be 10 sentences long. And you can do it on Google Docs, on a paper, or on this paper right here if you download it or open it with Google Docs, or another sheet. And here are the people that you can choose from. So pick anybody from that list that you're going to switch bodies with. And remember, you're going to include where they're from, any family members they have, accomplishments, what they did, how that changed people's lives or helped people. And then you're going to come up with what their next plan is, what they're going to look into next. And you're pretending that you're at an award ceremony, so you got to give a speech. Okay, so these are the things you're going to talk about. If you have questions or get stuck, please send me an email. I'd love to help you. Or when you hop into Zoom, you can always ask me there too. All right, folks, I'll see you later.